Hey everyone, so in this video we'll cover about conditions like if conditions, else conditions, and also we'll cover loops for loop and while loop. So first we'll understand what is a condition. See, in real life scenario, I'll explain with an example so that you can understand. In real life scenario, let's say if it is raining, like you see the weather, so if it is raining then you perform some actions, right? So based on that particular condition you will do some activities, like if it rains then you will carry an umbrella, or if it won't rains, if it is normal then you won't carry umbrella, right? So like based on that particular condition you are deciding something, you are doing something. So like in real time scenarios, in the same in programming also you do many things, like based on one particular condition you have to perform multiple activities. Like if the user is a valid user, then you will allow him to do certain activities in the web page. Or if the user is not a valid customer, if he is not a valid person, so then you won't allow him to sign in into the portal, or allow him to the portal. So those kind of activities you will perform in programming. In real time, in real life scenario, these are the best examples. Like you can consider like let's assume, so if you are in love, so you'll do some activities. If you are not in love, so you won't perform those activities. Then if you're in, there are multiple conditions also inside, that is nothing but a nested if. Like if you're in love, or if it is in the initial stages, then you perform something, you'll behave something, and you'll do some activities. If it is in the middle stage, then you'll do some activities. In the same way, like how you do in a real time scenarios, in the same in programming also you have some conditions. Based on those particular conditions, what you're going to perform. So that's the overall concept of these conditions, like if conditions. So like if this condition is satisfied, then you'll do something simple. So that is a major concept behind this conditions. Okay, so we'll understand what is this. We already know, like mathematics we studied. If it is both the variables are equal, you are comparing one variable with another variable, so you are checking, okay, so whether this variable is whatever value it has, whether it is equal to this value or not. Let's take A has 80 rupees and B also, someone is claiming that B also has 80 rupees. You are checking, so how you are going to check? So based on equals to symbol. So in the same way, it's okay, so 80 is less than 25 or not, so 80 is greater than or equal to 80 or not. So in that way, these are the conditions. Ultimately these conditions, like logical conditions, will return you boolean. Okay, but these things will return you either true or false. Based on that you perform some activity. That's the overall concept of this if and else and nested if and these blocks. Okay, so we'll explain some examples. Like A is a variable. We covered all these concepts in the earlier sections. You can just refer those. So A is a variable, B is a variable, B is holding 200, A is holding 33. So we're just taking one condition, like 200 is greater than 33 or not. If this condition is obviously it's true, so that's why it was satisfied and it was written the example. I mean, written the value like B is greater than A. So let's take will will give this condition. Okay, then obviously it is false. Then what we'll do, so we'll put some else condition. In case if the above condition is fails, then we have to print like A is great, whatever. So okay, just run. So I mean, not A is great, obviously. I mean, just I'll explain with the logic. Okay, so B value is 200. Next, 200 is less than 33. It is obviously it is false, so it comes to else block. Whatever content you given here, it will be executed. So here if nothing, so if I give nothing also, still it will present this. Ultimately the point is, so based on this ultimately it will check for this particular point. Okay, so what is the value which was given there? If it is satisfies, then this is true. If it is true, then only you are, and this code block enter into this loop, otherwise it will come out of the loop. So if you won't give anything, nothing will be printed. Okay, so nothing you will get printed, no value will be printed. So that's the logic of this if and else block. We'll see some examples so that you can understand. Okay, you just click on this try and you can try yourself. And this is like and also you have to remember one thing. So whenever you're using these blocks, you have to use some indentation. Indentation means like space. Okay, if I give like this, it will give some error, like, so you can't give below that, exactly below that. You have to give some space so that the cursor will, the program will understand, like, okay, you have, at least you can use tab space, or you can use two spaces, okay, two clicks on that space bar, so that you can understand, like, okay, this belongs to this particular block, belongs to if block. Okay, whatever logics you given inside this, it belongs to this particular if block. If this condition is satisfied, then inside the logic will be executed. So that is the way you can understand it. Then if you run this, then it will work fine. Obviously b is greater than 33, so 200 is greater than 33. This condition is satisfied, it will return true. Then it will enter into the block. That's the overall logic. Then elif means, in case if condition is failed, then it will check for the next condition. That is nothing but elif. If previous condition was not true, then try this one. See, there are scenarios like, initially only one condition will be satisfied, or this or this. In that way, you have few conditions are there in life, also in programming also. So then you can define, then you can declare your logic in this fashion. So either this one or this one. So in that way, and also there are some else also, like, so if this condition is satisfied, good. Then another condition. So then it won't check, then it will come to elif. So if it is satisfied, that's it. So it will enter into this block, it will come out of the block. That's the overall logic. So here what we'll see this one example. Okay, b value 33 and a value also 33. So obviously this condition is false. It is, if this condition failed, then the block enter into this block, and it will check for this particular condition. 33 is equal to 33, both are same. That's why the result is this. Okay, then else block means, it first initially it will check for this condition, if this is satisfied or not. If this condition satisfied, then well and good, it will enter into this. That's it. You won't execute, it won't execute these things, because already the top condition is satisfied. In case the above condition is failed, then it will enter into this elif, and it will check for this particular condition. Or in case if this condition also failed, then directly jump into this loop, and this will be executed. That's the logic of this if, elif, and else block. I hope you're getting these points. Okay, so initially it will check for this. 33 is greater than 200. No, it will fail. Then comes to this, and it was checked for this condition whether it's satisfying or no. This is also failed. Then it will comes to else block. Then this will be executed. That's the logic. Then another example is same thing, like b is greater than this or else. Or you can use this if condition or else condition directly, or you can use if, elif, and else also. So instead of using this tab indentations and etc., instead of that, you can do in a single line also, one line also. Simply you are giving this condition, if it is executed, then you have to perform this activity. In that way also you can give. And else condition is also same. If this condition is satisfied, you have to print this, else you have to print this. In that way. So this is known as ternary operators. Okay, so you can use this multiple else. Okay, if this condition is satisfied, then this, else this. Or if this condition is satisfied, it will check for this, or else this, print b. So in that way you can do this logic. Okay, and also you have to remember one thing. So this is very interesting and useful one. So there are and operators and or operators. These operators are there, which you already studied in your CSE, like computers. Uh, so basically, what it will perform is, it will check for this condition, and it also check for this condition. Both are true, then only it will enter into this loop. Otherwise, it will fail. If any one of the condition is failed, then entire logic is failed. Then it will come out of the loop. That's the logic of this AND operator. If in case if it is a R, then it will only check for one condition. It won't check for if either this or this. In that case, you have to go for R. So in case if it is true, like we'll cover in the next section. It was or condition. I'll explain that example. So, or is check. So basically, what it here it was checking is, either first it will check for this condition. If this condition is satisfied, it won't check for this next condition. Directly jump into the loop. No, so and means like it has to satisfy both the conditions, whatever condition you given. Like let's take if it is raining and raining heavily, then you have to perform some activity. Then then you have to use and condition. In case art means either I can watch a movie or I can study, so it's my choice. I can choose whatever I want. So based on if anything is fine, so then you use this R. So that's a choice. And means you have to definitely have to satisfy both the conditions. And also based on your logical truth tables on these kind of boolean expressions are there. If you know those concepts, then it is nothing. So you're just expressing these conditions in a programmatical way. That's it. So you can use this not also. So if not this, initially it will check for this, a is greater than b. No, then not means here it will give false. Not false means what? True. Then it is entirely this is a correct statement, and it will enter into this block. So in that way you can use your own logics. You can use this. So basically you can if and these are like keywords. Okay, so you have to understand in real life scenarios how we are using it. In the programmatical also, in programming also we use the same thing, but we express that format in this syntactical way, so that the language which will the computers will understand, it will execute certain things. So here I told you, right? So there are multiple nested if also, that if this condition is satisfied, then again you're looking for another conditions. Okay, so let's take uh, in 10th class or in your school. So you have this so if you pass or not after you, I mean, you cleared that exam or not. After clearing that exam, you will go for the mains. Like let's say UPSC. Okay, it's a best scenario. So initially it will check for the prelims. If you clear the pass, they will allow you for the mains. If you clear the mains, then they will allow you for the interview. So it's like condition, nested conditions are there. If you fail in the mains, you'll out of that loop. You'll, I mean, obviously out of the loop in the sense you can't appear for the interview. So if you fail in prelims, obviously you can't appear for the mains. So that is the logic. Same way you can apply here. So okay, pass means it won't do anything. Okay, it won't do anything. It just simply it's do nothing. So that is the meaning of pass. So you can try this example. Okay, so then it's very simple. If else condition is nothing. So in real world, how you have the scenarios in the same way you apply those scenarios in a programmatical approach. That's it. Next, we'll see while loop. While loop I already covered. There are loops. Two kinds of loops are there. Like if you know number of iterations or you want to do, then you go for loop. If you don't know how many iterations you want to do, then you go for the while loop. Okay, initially the while logic is like initially it will check for a condition. You have to declare something. In Java you have so loop inside that you will do initialization and condition, then increment or decrement. Same logic here also. Initially check for you will assign some you initiate some variable like some values, and after that you check for the condition. If the condition is satisfied inside that loop, you apply either increment or decrement. That is the overall concept. This is the way you can initialize, and this is the way you are checking the condition. In this way you can increment or decrement. So this is the logic you can do. But remember one thing. So in case you have to careful with the while loop, you have to properly set the condition, otherwise it will go for infinite loop. So infinite loop means it will run forever. So then you have to terminate the program. So it is a very so you have to aware of what is this while loop and how to break that one, how to make it so whatever program you did, you have to do something in a proper way. So in that way you have to be careful. So okay, so while loop already we covered in this okay, so just we can see this. Initially we declare I as 1, and after that if it is value is less than 6, then we're printing that value, otherwise we'll stop that one. So initially we declare I as 1, 1 is less than 6, true, then we're printing 1. After that we're incrementing it, then now the I value becomes 2. Then again it will comes to this, and 2 less than 6, true, then come here and print 2. Then again the value is incremented to 3, 3 less than 6, satisfied, then comes to this print, and 3 value will be printed. Then again I is incremented to 1, that is 4. Then 4 is less than 6, true, then print 4. Then after that 5, 5 less than 6, true, then come here and print 5. After that it will be incremented to 6, 6 less than 6, condition failed, that's why you won't see anything. That's why you get 1 2 3 4 5. In this way you can do this while so in case if you want to come out of this, like you don't know how many times you want to iterate that loop, but you know one condition. If the condition is satisfied, you have to come out of that loop. That is the logic. In that way, how you can do, you can use this break statement. What here it was doing is I value initially declared as 1, and they're checking if the value is equal to 3, then you have to come out of the loop. Otherwise you have to increment it. So in this way, okay. So initially it was the, you can also check this print I, so that you can understand in a much better way. We'll give one example as I, okay. So let's run this loop. So you can, whenever you want to understand, just print this and print C, then observe. Okay. So ultimately, what we declare something initially I as 1, and it will come here 1 less than 6. True. Enter into this block and print 1. After that, I is it'll checking. It was checking for the condition 1 is equal to 3. False. Then come here. I value is incremented. Then now I value is 2. Then again it will enter into this block and 2 less than 6. True. Then come here and print. It was printed 2. Then it was checking 2 equal to 3. No, failed. Then come here. Then 2 is incremented to 3. Then that's why you got the value as 3. Then again it will reach here and 3 less than 6. True. Then it will enter into this block, print 3. Then we are checking like 3 equal to 3. Obviously it is true. That's why it will enter into this if block. Here we given the break statement. That means it will completely out of the loop. Then the program stop. That's the logic. You continue means it will skip that particular moment. It will go for the next step initially. So this example you can see here, it was checking for this condition. If it is satisfied, then we are skipping that moment. Okay, we're just skipping the result. You can see here 1 2 4 5 6. 3 is not there. Why? It was checking for that condition. In programming also, like if you give the condition, if you give the word as continue in the while loop, it will skip that particular moment. You are just checking sometimes if the person is satisfying this condition. You have to skip that from the elimination, or these kind of scenarios will come in the real time programming. Then in that case, you can, this continue word will be very handy. It is a keyword. Majorly it is useful to skip that particular iteration from that loop. Yeah. Then in while also you can use this else statement. Okay, if this condition, in case if it is failed, then you can also mention something like I is no longer the less than 6. In that way you can try. You can check these examples of exercises you can try. For loop I already covered in list and tuples and all the iteration times. We already know all these statements. Same concept. Okay, if this condition is satisfied, then we have to break. Then we have to come out of the loop. In that case, you can use this break statement. Continue also same, like it will skip that particular iteration. Rest of the things will be same. You can see here. So initially you have the fruits as it declared in a list. After that you are just iterating each one. So first initially apple will be there. Apple is equal to banana. No. So that's why you got here, and apple will be printed. Next it will banana will come here, and it was checking for banana equal to this. Yes, it is true. That's why here the continue will be there. Then it will skip that one. So obviously print statement won't be executed. Whatever lines you written below that statement continue, it won't happen. It will directly jumps to here. Then execution start from here. Then next one is cherry. Cherry is equal to banana. No. So that's why you got the cherry as in the outcome. So ultimately what happens is, if you give the continue, it will skip that entire below execution part. Whatever statements you given below the continue, so it will execute. Sorry, it will skip that part. It will skip that entire loop part. Okay. So that's the logic of this continue. Break statement we already cover. Range we already know. Like so range means you can do whatever values. Initially it starts with 0. Whatever values you given, excluding that particular value, whatever values before that, you will get to know in this way: 0 1 2 3. And also you can there are many ways. Okay, the starting is there, ending is there, and also the range also is there. Like what is the increment you want to do, what is the decrement you want to do. So those kind of logics is also there. I just want to check. So we'll explain these scenarios. Okay, so range of, we can just check this. range of 2 comma 6. See, initially you've given range of 6, then what is the outcome you are getting? 0 to 5 you are getting. Now you are giving this condition like 2 to 6. So that means you are telling, I want the numbers from 2. It has to start from 2 until 6. That means 6 will be excluded. Whatever values before 6, those values will come. By default, the increment phase is like plus 1. Okay. So initially it was 2, then it was there. End is like 6. I don't want 6, but till that end point I want to get all the values. So 2 will be there, 3 will be there, 4 will be there, 5 will be there. So these values will be present. In case if you want to get the values till 10 from 2, this is the way you can write the code. Okay, for x in range, I want the value starting from 2 till 10. I don't want the 11th one. In this way you can do. In case you want to do like okay, I'll explain with an example only. See here, you can also set what is the sequence you want to get, like what values you want the increment. Like 2 is there, next it has to be incremented with the plus 3. So that's why you given the 3. We'll check this example, you will understand. Okay. So initially the values are like 230. 2 means initial point is 2. For what is the end value till 30, that means 29. Okay, till 29 it will be executed. And also you want to increment with plus 3. So first one is like 2. The next point is 2 plus 3, which is 5. Next already 5 is there. 5 plus 3 8. Then 8 plus 3 11. 11 plus 3 14. In this way it will come. 26 plus 3 29. 30 won't come because 30 is the end value. It will be this condition is satisfied, then it will be out of the loop. So in programming, like you want to get the values, or you want to get some, you're dealing with some numbers, you want to do certain range from the starting point to end point. And also I want to, the sequence has to be in this format. Like if every the difference between two numbers has to be like 3 or 2 or 1, whatever. So by default it is 1. Or in case you want to get the more sequence or more difference, then this is the way you can do. You can just simply after that put some comma and give the value, whichever value you want to expect between the both the values, so that you can try. Else block also, so for loop also, while loop also, after executing that while in the below, so how you have the if else, in the same way you can use else block also. For after for is completed, it's obviously it will stop, right? So because it will check for 0 to 5. Once it is a 6, then obviously it can't go further. So it will come here, else block will be executed in the last step. So in this way we'll, that's it. And you can use this break condition if you want to come out of that block means. So this is the way. Nested loops, for loop inside a for loop, that is nothing but a nested loop. We have a conditions like nested if within a if, that is a nested if. In the same way, for loop within a loop, we already covered this example actually earlier. So in a list, inside a list, how to access that in that way. See now what it was doing. So sometimes you want to do like this, I want red apple, red banana, red cherry. How can you do that step? You have colors, you have different fruits, and you're creating some program like so you're giving adjectives like there are red apples are there, big apples are there, tasty apples are there. In that way you have the sequence, you want to generate the words. So this is the way you can do. Okay, so you're storing the elements in list, multiple list, you want to combine each element of the list with another, all the elements of another list. Then in that case you have to do this nested loops. Okay, like you have a matrix, right? So first row, first column, so you want to access within the first row, you want to access all the elements in the column. So how you can do that using this nested for loops? Check this example. Initially they're looping this these adjectives like adj variable, which is a list. So that means initially the x value contains red, and after that they're looping this fruits, this one inside that. That means initially the value is x, then I mean the variable x has red, and it is also checking for the next one. That's why red apple, red banana, red cherry. Then it reaches this level because already the one element is gone, this one is completed, that's why it's moved to up. The next one is like big, So big apple, big banana, big cherry. Next one is tasty. Next to tasty apple, tasty banana, tasty cherry. So in this way, the loops will work. Nested loops will work. Nested loop is nothing but loop within a loop. That is nothing but a nested loop. Yeah. So pass you already know. Just simply it won't do anything. Just simply pass the things. So that's you can try some so examples. Pass means it even though it enter into the block, it won't do anything. It just simply do nothing. Sometimes in scenarios, you will get some scenarios in work like sometimes you have to, even though it enter into, you have to give some condition just to check. After that, you don't need any information related to that concept, like that particular block. You just need to simply put some condition like pass. You just need to pass. That's it. You don't do anything. So for that time you can use this pass. Okay, keyword. So you can just refer the content. I hope we cover this if else and while and for loops. Just try, just explore, just click on try it yourself and just see. Later we'll cover these functions and lambda. We'll see these things in the next sessions. I hope you are getting and you like this content. um, so yeah, that's it guys. Like we'll see in the next session. Thank you.